hold on. That maybe nope. Okay, then I start like feeling the machine all over the place. Like, where does the car go?
Hey everyone, I'm Charity.
And I'm Austin. Welcome to the Central Vision Podcast.
We're two hosts living with vision loss, sharing honest conversations about life through the lens of blindness and low vision.
From relationships and travel to careers and technology.
From family and confidence to accessibility and everything in between.
We'll share our experiences, ask the questions people are already thinking, laugh through the awkward moments, and explore what it really means to live with vision loss.
So whether you're living with vision loss yourself, love, support, or know someone who is, or you're simply curious looking for a different perspective, you're in the right place.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Central Vision Podcast. I'm back here with my co-host Charity. And today we're going to talk about something that I know a lot of us who are in the vision loss community can really understand. And it's something that we wish that more sighted people in our community might, or not inside our community, but more sighted people that would maybe understand and maybe we should talk about more. And that's kind of the invisible side of having vision loss, things that you don't see that we experience almost every single day. And it can be really, really hard sometimes. It can make your skin crawl. For me, myself, I start feeling my body heating up and I get really nervous. Anxiety is a real thing. OCD is an insane thing. And I don't even know if it's considered really OCD in this point, but that is what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start it off with Charity here and just something simple, Charity. What's something that blindness makes really difficult for you that no one really sees, but you might face on a everyday basis?
Well, first of all, my family does consider it OCD, by the way. And I have a major case. I have a major case of it apparently. So for me, I think what people don't see, I'm a fairly confident person. Or I try to give off the air of being a fairly confident person, but I approach life with a lot of anxiety now that I have my degree of vision loss. In that part of it, the anxiety part of it is exhausting for me. I overthink everything I do, everything anyone asks me about, activities we want to go to, things we want to do. I just overanalyze all of it. And yeah, I don't think people see that. I come across as, yeah, let's go, let's do. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? How am I going to get there? What's it going to be like when I get there? Is it going to be dark? Is there going to be too many people? Is my dog going to have an issue? Is it going to be hot? I mean, all the things. It's all the things.
So what for you, like, what do you think the anxiety, like, well, one, how's it show up, and then also like, what do you think the anxiety is all like actually about? Is it about like the nervousness of yourself being there? Or maybe is it that you're going to ruin someone else's time, or it's someone's going to notice that something's wrong? Like, what is that for you?
For me, it's the perception. Like I said, I am a fairly confident person in my own environment that I know well. And I like to think that I am capable in all situations and circumstances. And I try to make myself look or appear normal. And I mean, you can't. So for me,
No.
that's what it's about. It's not about interfering with someone else's good time. It's about how people are going to perceive me. I want to be perceived as capable, but when I have to, I went to my daughter's orientation yesterday at her school, and she goes to a small private school, and it's very small. There were a ton of people there. It was crowded, and I'm her mom, and to have her have to guide me around the school, I don't like that perception.
Yeah.
That's, for me, that's what it is.
Yeah. And I imagine that changes differently depending on like where you're going, right? To where it's, I'm, speaking for just thinking about it, but if someone's helping you guide around a school to where like, God, if a parent sees me, they're gonna think like, wow, and like almost judgment could come from that to where like, was that a good idea to have a kid? Like, and I know everyone worries about being a parent, like going through
Yeah.
what we go through, and that's got to be a lot harder than say, I'm going to meet some friends out for dinner and like, oh, well, they already know, like, I don't have, there's obviously people in the background that could, think whatever. But so you think it's mostly just it's the way that people perceive you and the way they might, like, in a judgy way, right?
Yeah, and like you said, in that particular environment yesterday that I was in, 95% of the people there don't know anything about me. So they look at me. Now, I did take my dog with me, so a lot of times I get comfort in them looking at the dog and not looking at me. Um, but we're sitting in an auditorium and Arlo's tucked under a chair. And even my daughter said, like, you don't even know he's here. And I'm like, oh, but I want people to know he's here because
Hmm.
when they come up to me and I'm introduced to her teachers walk up and I'm just there and I don't see them. And even when they speak to me, I can't see them because the auditorium was dark. And I don't know. For me, it's about perception. It's all
Yeah.
about perception and how I wanna come across. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like, I get that myself, but I don't know. Like, I'm almost, it's like, what's the worst that can be done? Like, you're gonna judge me. Like, it's listen, I know I just knocked that table over. I felt it, I saw it, but it almost helps me in a weird way. I mean, because I mean, this all to me, I think this really all comes down to like how much you accept about your situation. And
Yeah.
you know, I found it to put me at ease actually to really embrace the fact that I don't have that peripheral vision where I can't see who is looking at me to where it's like,
Yeah.
it's that classic thing. If a tree falls down in the middle of the forest and no one's around to hear it, did it fall? It's kind of like that kind of concept to me. You know what I mean? Uh,
If I
because
don't see your stick out your hand, did you actually do
did you
it?
ever do it? Yeah, that's exactly what
I
it
think
is,
they
right?
did.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a them thing. But
True.
I when I was just doing the vision connection with the FFB, the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and I was doing my little table there, and they brought me up as a vendor, person to speak on stage. Like, I have never spoken on stage in my life, and that I thought was going to scare me so much, and I actually was, very nervous that I kind of slumped down in my chair when they said that. It's like, no. And my mom came up from the side, like, they're talking about you, right? Like, oh, yes, I know. You just had to be here, didn't you? Okay. And I get up and, I sit down on stage in front of this room full of people and they're professionals too. These are doctors and people that lead
Yeah.
groups and like all this stuff. And they put me on the end and, you know, the regional guy for the Foundation Fighting Blindness, Alex, he goes like, okay, Austin, let's start with you. Are you kidding me? Like, you know what? Okay. And I started looking around the room and I like locked on someone, realized, I can't even see anyone else. So this is kind of awesome. And it made it very easy. I actually thought I was talking to just one person at a time. So that
Right.
was very, that was something simple for me. I think that kind of helps when I'm out and about going through all these things, even with like, women, if I'm talking to women to where it's like I can't see like the way you're looking at me, so it almost makes it easier. It helps me hide under the veil that no one knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess so from that perspective, I kind of have the same attitude. I am not really. So I wanna come across as being confident, but at the same time, I am not embarrassed by my situation anymore.
Hmm.
Like, if I run into somebody, of course, I'm sorry, I didn't see you or whatever, but I do still have, I'm concerned, especially in certain situations, like for my daughter yesterday. I know what it's like to be, 17 and you're in high school and it's the start of her senior year and you want to come across a certain way and I don't want to be an embarrassment to her. That's another big part for me. in those type of situations. Like I don't want to make myself stand out in front of her. So in a normal situation where I'm by myself or I'm with my husband, I'm at the grocery store or whatever, um, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm in your way. I ran into you. Oh God, did you see my dog? I can't see. Like whatever, but
So
yeah.
in those situations though, because I mean it's a perfect way to transition over to that to where do you ever feel like you have to, or I actually get nervous that people see me doing it. Like now I'm gonna have to explain myself, but do you ever have to feel like you have to explain yourself or someone actually comes up to you and asks you about it? For instance, when, if you're on your phone and, if I'm at the bar, let's say, and I'm playing pool and or trying to find the bathroom whatever and I obviously run into something. I do something that says either that this guy's drunk or just something else is going on and they never just assume the vision, but I'll say I'm
Right.
so sorry I couldn't see you, I have this vision condition whatever, and then I'll go and sit down and then pull out my phone to where
Yeah.
like wait a minute, like
Right.
this guy's blind, like that's rude of him to say that he's blind and look at him.
Right.
Do you ever feel the need that you have to like prove anything or feel that kind of pressure?
I don't feel like I have to prove anything, but in that particular instance, like in the scenario that you were just talking about, I would feel self-conscious using my phone.
Yeah.
Like I would stop myself from doing things that sighted people can do because I wouldn't want people to think that I just said I was blind and I'm not.
Yeah.
It, yeah, so I don't feel like I have to justify. But then again, I do. When I go to check out at a grocery store, I can't find, or anywhere for that matter, I have a hard time finding the little scan thing or the tap, or they say, "Oh, I
Yeah.
have a question." There's a question on on the screen, and it's usually about a tip. And
Yeah.
it's weird anyway. And I'm like, if my hand touches the wrong thing, I'm going to tip them $200 or something.
Yeah.
And I have to ask for help. Like, and I'm like, then I'm like, oh, I'm visually impaired. And they look at
Mhm.
me and they're like, yeah, but you just use your app to buy
Mhm.
Starbucks. And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
but I can't see. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty bad about those the touch pads and whatnot. I actually just went to the ATM the other day and I was actually in the back of an Uber trying to do two things at once. And I slide over to that side of the car and I reach out, I'm at the ATM and I'm just sitting there staring at the thing. Like, where do you put the card at?
yes,
So I start taking
yes,
my card and nope, maybe.
sliding it all around.
Hold on. That maybe nope. Okay, then I start like feeling the machine all over the place. Like, where does the card go? And I'm looking at
Yep.
him. Maybe I should ask for help. But then I pull out my phone and I'm looking at, and this guy in the front has got to think like this guy is about to steal from this ATM. Like, what is he
Yes.
doing right now?
Yes. Yep.
And I finally found it, and it was such a weird like. I finally found it, and I slide the card in. Like, finally. Okay, then the next thing, put in your PIN number. Oh God.
Oh,
Where are the
yeah.
numbers? So back to finding the
Exactly.
numbers. And then I'll find the time when I end up in the Spanish menu. I'm like, oh no. No, 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 no.
Oh, that's
It's like,
great.
¿Qué pasó? Like, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing here. Then finally, and sometimes it'll take me several times, and I'll type in things like 2000. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
Like this
no.
two. Where's the clear button? Come on. It's always
Yes.
bad. So yeah, that's I get that. And at the store, like that's one of those times where I feel like my skin is overheating and like just it's crawling because it's like I think everyone is watching me. And I know they're not. They're just buying their milk and their groceries. Like they're just doing, especially the self checkout where it's a big pot of people. And I know
Yes.
there's a line, and that person's like, dude, can you just tap
Yes.
it? Like,
Just
stop
go.
tapping the machine. Like, like, why are you tapping the candy bars, bud? It's over here. Yes.
Yes. And I guess that's where I feel I get very nervous because I don't want to hold up people and there is a line behind me. And then I screw up even more. It's like, ah, it's terrible.
It's so yeah, and it's not, and not everyone's watching you, and it just feels like that sometimes, and because I know I'd be going like, what is this guy doing?
Right.
Like, babe, look over here.
I know,
what
look at
is
that.
he doing? Do we ask him if he needs help? Like, I don't. He, he looks like he knows he needs to tap somewhere, but he doesn't have a dog. And I think that might be like a different perspective when someone sees me is versus someone with a cane or a dog is
Yeah,
now I look even more. I mean, if they saw a guide dog or a cane, they're automatically going to assume, okay, this is blindness. But if it's just a guy who,
yeah,
especially when I walk in places and people don't know that I'm not driving anymore, and I walk in,
right.
like I look confident. I'm on his shoulder and I got some music in. I'm like, yeah. And like he was good up until tap. Like this guy looked like he knew where the cheese was. He was going.
Yeah, yeah, and we
Uh,
can do that in places that we're familiar with, but, get me into
yeah,
an environment that I don't know, and it's terrible. It's
yeah.
terrible.
So tell me about like so you kind of mentioned it, but you know and I know we know what it feels like, but give me an example of something you have turned down because, the vision loss, anyone with vision loss listening to this, and the sighted people who know someone with vision loss, this is something important to understand about, people like us that deal with this is when we say no to do something, it's not because we don't want to hang out with you. It's not because we don't want to be around you. It's not because we don't want to go and get that awesome dinner with you or a drink or whatever it may be. It's we're sitting there thinking about all the steps that we need to go through, how hard that
Yeah,
place can be when we walk into this place. We're thinking about like, and maybe it's just me, but the imagery, like you really imagine, close your eyes and imagine walking. I got to open the door and I go in here. Like, how bad is it going to be? How many people are going to be there? What's the lighting going to be like? And like
yeah,
every single, like, is the bathroom gonna be hard to find? Like we think about all these things, and then sometimes that will ultimately make our decision whether we're gonna come or not. And it's not the best thing to do. I always try to embrace, like, even if it's scary, just go do it. Just go do it, figure it out. But so what is like the last thing that you might have turned down and why?
the last really important thing that I turned down was last summer.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have a dog or a cane at the time. I was in between service dogs, and I had not yet had cane training, and I was appalled by it anyway. So I at that time, I wouldn't have used it even if I had it. Now I have embraced it, but, at the time, I was just me without any assistive, a dog or a cane, and my daughter had a basketball tournament in Kentucky, and it was 200 basketball courts in one,
Wow,
like, community center. Oh, it was insane.
that's
They had
wild.
people oh, it was more than wild. It was literally insane. They had people from, players from China, from,
Oh,
Australia, from all over, and then all over the United States and Canada, and so there were it w it was crazy, and I didn't go because I didn't have my dog, so no one would know that I was visually impaired. I wasn't using a cane, and my daughter needed help with, she and my husband ended up going, but so she needed help, like, when she was going to register, he had to be there, and just the crowds of people, I was like, "What was I gonna do during that period of time when he was registering people?" And then I think about how am I gonna navigate these people, and my biggest fear always is when I'm with a sighted guide, is them having to leave me for some reason. If my husband has to go use the bathroom, like, what am I gonna do then? Or if I have to use the bathroom, what am I gonna do then? And my daughter was obviously playing basketball, so, fortunately, when we travel and stuff, my daughter, I'll just be like, "Okay, just go into the restroom with me. I have to use the bathroom. Just go into the restroom with me." But in a year, I'm by myself,
uh-huh.
and in that particular case, I was by myself, and I didn't go. I stayed here, and I feel terrible that I missed it, but I feel like I would have been more of a hindrance than an
Yeah,
enjoyment, and yeah.
yeah. And it's not like, it's it's one of those weird things. It's not like someone could have made it better because just because someone says like, no, I got you, like don't worry about it. it doesn't take that fear away or that
No.
uncomfortable, feeling away. It just exists until, and it's not really right for us to do that to ourselves. It's something that kind of comes with it. That's it.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say like the bathroom thing, that's I'm always waiting for someone to get unless I know the place very well, which I typically
Right.
only frequent places that I know very well, but that's not always the case. But
Right.
I will usually wait for someone, male or female, and hopefully they're in the same area. But I will wait for someone to come because, like a lot of us in the community know, like I have walked into a female's bathroom more times than I can count. And it's it's always like interesting, but then at least once you get in there it's very bright. Sometimes though, because if you go to higher end places, that bathroom is so dark. And when I was
Yes.
just at a high end like cocktail bar Italian place on Sunday, when I went into the bathroom, I'm in there going like, 'cause I followed my woman friend, and she went to hers like, oh, I hope it's over here. And I just started kind of like feeling like door perfect. Okay, got in, and then I'm in there and I close the door. And I have a habit of doing this, going in places and I don't turn the light on first.
Yeah.
Before closing the door. So then I'm in there and I'm just like, oh no, where's the light switch? Like I don't want to open the door because there's gonna be someone just staring at me when I open that door. Like,
Yes.
so I'm like feeling, I'm miming my way around the room trying to find it, and I look up and go, "Oh my, the light is on."
It's already on.
I
Yeah,
just thought,
it's
but it's
already on.
super dim, and they typically use in like higher end places. They use these really dark features, dark counters. There was
Yeah.
one place I went, they had a black toilet on a black like tile floor. And that was the rudest thing I have ever seen in my life. The audacity of having that is insane.
Exactly.
But waiting for people to go to the bathroom. And I kid you not, there has been a place to where I left the bar or whatever it was, but I left because I balanced all the concepts. Like, am I going to ask for someone to help me go to the bathroom, or am I just going to leave? I got an Uber and I left. Like instead
Yeah.
of just like doing something so simple. And that was when before I was more comfortable with just, 'cause that's like a simple task that we shouldn't have to, we it is what it is, but it's not like we're deserving of going through this hardship to where we have to ask to be helped as grown adults.
Eh,
And it's very confusing and hard, to deal with that. And then it's more so is always wondering how do people around us judge us, but we're always judging
Yeah.
ourselves by how we think others are judging us. And that's never
Yeah.
actually correct, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this year, because I recognize that about myself, I recognize that I have put myself in a box. I've limited myself,
Hmm.
and I have missed out on a lot. And it, oddly enough, this podcast is the result of me making a decision that 2026, this year, was going to be the year of hard things for me. And I ended up going to orientation and mobility training, which was hard for me. And I decided to put myself out there, and even reaching out to you, that was very hard for me. But starting the podcast was something that I really wanted to do. It's not
Hmm.
comfortable for me. It's not in my wheelhouse. It appears to be more in yours. You're more comfortable, but it's 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 putting yourself out there and not letting the vision loss limit you, because it's just one piece of you. It's just one piece of
Right.
me. And yeah.
Yeah, but that's almost like, so when I was, before I was really, when this all started happening to me, I tried to hide it from my friends. I would still go out and
Yeah.
pretend that nothing had changed. I'd still go to shows, I'd still go to after parties, and I would end up sitting in the corner of like people's houses where the only light was, or spending a lot of time in the
Yeah.
kitchen because the kitchen lights were always on, white counters. Like, this is my safe place right here. I can
Yeah.
sit right here. I can see everyone's face in this little area, as long as I'm looking directly at them. But that was like the comfort zone. But to admit that was going on was very, very hard to do that. But it was scary because all of a sudden because this happened in my later years in my 20s and everything had changed. People knew me a certain way. I was very self-sufficient. I was good at a lot of things, which I'm still good at things. Like I can still beat people on the pool table, which is hilarious. No one likes it. But I can see
No one
that
likes
one
it.
window. I can see there's the ball. But a lot of times I'll circle the pool table looking for the cue ball. Like, where is it? Where is it?
Yes.
It's right there. Or I'll
Or
shoot for
back
the
up
eight.
12 feet
Yeah.
so you can
Or
see
I'll
it.
shoot for the eight, and there'll be two more of my balls sitting down the other side of the table. Like, dude, you just lost us a game, man. Like, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
But
Blind
once,
card.
right. But once I started acknowledging it, and it had to be like a cold turkey decision. I had to acknowledge it,
Hmm.
not just to myself, to everyone. It was that push
Yeah.
that, you know, guys, this is what I deal with all the time and constantly, and not saying it in like a self-deprecating way, not saying like, I'm sorry, I'm blind, not doing that, but saying,
No.
listen, guys, this is what's going on. But going through that and getting more and more comfortable of speaking about what is actually going on with me, I mean, you can't hide it. And speaking about that, it made me accept myself and the world around me and their perception of people around me and myself. It made it so much easier, and it gets easier the more I do it. So like I
Yeah.
love that you're putting yourself out there for like calling this like the year of like
Your
2026, the
hard
year of hard
things.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that, and that's it's going through the hard things that eventually teach you and help you learn and whatnot. And there's a line that I love, and that's pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, and you just have to find a way to not suffer, or at least at minimum make your suffering worth something. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best things about, I think that's what this podcast really is making our hard things actually mean something for others, and that it had value, that we went through it for a reason or are going through it for a reason.
It's one thing that I found was very interesting when you're talking about other people's perception. I say that I don't care what people think about me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't help my situation, but deep inside I do. Like I do care. So I used to walk around my neighborhood all the time, and I still do, but I ran into some people and they're like, "Oh, you're really nice." I'd stop and talk to them. I
Mm-hmm.
got to know people in the neighborhood. They're like, "Oh, you're really nice." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks. So are you?" And they're like, "I heard that you are just like, yeah, what did they say? I was like stuck up or something because they would go by and they would wave, or they'd go by and I'm walking through the neighborhood and I don't wave to someone when they wave to me from my
Uh-huh.
car or from their yard, or they're walking their dog and I don't see them and say hello. And when I started walking in my neighborhood with my cane,
Mm-hmm.
everyone was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, now I get it. Now I see." And
Right.
it's like their perception did matter to me. I know it
Mm-hmm.
was skewed and they were passing judgment on something they knew nothing about. And get to know me.
Right.
If you think, yeah, before you pass judgment on me, get to know me. And sorry I didn't wave, but I'm not that bad.
And it's funny. That was the next thing I was going to bring up, is like how often what some kind of characteristic that comes from vision loss, like how often that is misunderstood as being rude or being dismissive or, distracted or, whatever. And I get that all the time. There was actually a time when it was just when I started telling people what was going on, telling friends and whatnot, and we were having like a party. And I was in an area with only like one other guy. And, he comes up and he tries to, like, what the kids say, throw daps and, like, put up his hand to shake it. And
Yes.
I just sat there, and I know my hands are down on my side of me just looking at him. And,
Right.
he wasn't very cool at that. And I looked down at his lips because I couldn't see. I'm either looking at your eye, or I'm looking at your lips, or I'm looking at your nose. Whatever.
Right.
I get one
Not
option
all of
here.
it. Yeah.
So I looked down at his lips and I saw like that just look like, like this guy right here did not shake my hand. And I went, oh man, buddy, were you trying to shake my hand? He said, yeah, bro. Like, dude, I did not know. My bad. He's like, nah, man, nah. And he walked away, or my other friend walked by or came in or whatever. And I was, funny enough, his name is Austin as well, and said like, it's not say it's Kinder, will you please tell him that I cannot see, that I am blind? And he starts laughing and goes, bro, Austin can't see anything. And he goes, "Oh man!" And what had happened by the time that this actually happened, he had not spoken to me. The guy that was trying to shake my hand, he had not spoken to me for maybe an hour plus because he was that mad.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then I mean, yeah, and then Austin explained it to him. He was like, "Bro, I thought you were just dissing me the whole time, like for an hour. Like, where's the joke in that? Like, like all those mean mugs and stuff. Like, no, man, that's not what was going on, And and that kind of thing worries me getting around people that are, 'cause I came from like sales and, from professional business and things. And,
Yeah.
I like shaking a firm hand and doing that. So like what I try to do now, I try to is to throw out my hand first. But then you got to judge that too, especially as a guy. Like, is it the sideways thing? Is it like the bring the guy in thing? Is it just a handshake? Because then you end up doing some weird things with your fingers together, and it's like, all right, well, that was cool. That was really awkward for me. Can we do that again, dude? Like one more time? Like same thing with high five. Someone
Do
will try to
over.
high five me and they'll go like right in front of you. Come on, like, all right, and then I'll
Right?
miss it
You can
completely.
do it.
Like let's do it again, man. Come on. So yeah, that's
Uh,
it's I've had a lot of people mistake that kind of thing where, they take it as rude. And like that's a great example of, and I know that I have walked by people so many times that just, hey man, like, did I do something to offend you? Like, dude, when did you get
yeah.
here?
Yeah.
I was literally right in front of you when you walked in and said hello right in front of your face. And you said nothing. Like, oh man, how long has it been since you've seen me? Uh, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6 years. Like, okay, let me tell you what's happened. Like,
It's been
so,
that long since I've seen you.
right. And like another thing that happened to me too was when I was dealing with TSA, like, do you fly a lot at
I
all?
fly, yeah, kind of frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you ever have problems with the TSA?
So normally they're really good for me. They're
But you
normally
always
really
have
good
a
for me.
cane or a dog with you.
No, but I
Okay.
always make it really apparent
Okay.
that I can't see. Sometimes I make it worse than it actually is, actually,
Yeah.
like to make it appear more legit,
Yeah.
sadly.
It's wild, right? That you have to do that to like, so you don't end up in a weird situation. You almost over exaggerate it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not because we're trying to take advantage of it. It's
No.
because at least this way we'll avoid the questions or the
Yeah.
the assumptions that we're just playing off of something, that's not real. Because unfortunately in this world, right, how many people do that? They take advantage of the system, they take advantage of the way that people treat them, and they
Uh,
use it to their advantage,
so many things.
you
And
know?
speaking
Mhm.
of TSA, I will say the only thing I ran into once they realized. So the first thing you go up, you give somebody, they're holding their hand out to get your ID or whatever, and I'm like handing it off to my right, and I'm like, I don't know where your hand is. Can you just take it? And then they have you stand in front of the camera and scan your eyes or scan your face,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're like, you need to look at the camera. Okay, am I looking there? Like,
yeah.
do I have to go right or left? Just move my head, okay?
Right.
Just move my head.
Take your hand out and just tilt my chin. Do whatever you need to do, man.
And at that point, they realize that, okay, nobody's gonna act this stupid
Hmm.
if they could actually see. And then after that, they're usually great to me. They're usually wonderful. But I often wonder if that's a difference between being a male and a female. Like if it's different for you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe and that's one of the reasons I try to be so charismatic when I'm talking about anything with vision to people or exposing it to people and situations like that. But, I had a situation at with TSA, and we were flying out early in the morning. So it wasn't busy or anything. And we're TSA pre-check, and which,
Yeah.
hardly means anything anymore. It seems like most
No,
of the time you're
everybody
still
is.
and they all make up their own rules with it. But so we drop our things on the belt, and then there's that thing where you have to get in, put your hands up, and like
Yeah.
it's very Star Trek, right? It's got this thing running around you, whatever. And I'm trying to walk in to the to this little cylinder or whatever it is. I'm trying to walk into it, and I keep like something keeps stopping me. Like, what is going on here? And I look down, and it's one of those the tapes, like the ribbons that go, for lines, like the line ribbons. It's one of
Yes.
those like
Yes.
saying we're not using that today, which is a weird, like it, I would think for, security, we'd be using these things, but okay. So I had to walk over, there's 4 feet next to me on the right, then another 5 feet up right from that, like an angle up. And that's where a little gate was. And my mom's, like, Austin, over here, Austin. Like, what is, okay, okay.
Yes.
And the TSA guy is like starting to get frustrated with me, like, over here, sir. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't see you very well. And I'm like starting to feel the metal railing, and I'm laughing, going, Mom, where? Like, over here. And, guy again, like, sir, over there. He's getting very frustrated with me. And at that point, I'm just angry. And I get through it, and
Yeah.
I have to lean into him and tell him, sir, I would advise to not get angry with people when they have a disability. And he even had some chuckles too. And
Oh,
when I
nice.
did that, he turned around and put his hand on my shoulder and said, "You've been selected for a random security check." And I went, "Oh, did I? Did I? Okay,
Random.
cool. Where? Yeah, tell me where. I know what's going on here, man." And
Mm-hmm.
I go over, and they're doing it like a deep check of me. Some other guys doing, all the things. And he looks at me, like, looks over the shoulder, and he says, he said, "I'm so sorry. I saw you in line. I could tell that there was something off. Like, you have a vision difficulty, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I could see it. And I'm really
Yeah.
sorry that I'm doing this." I said, "It's not your problem, man. This was not you. It's absolutely okay. Don't worry about it." It's like, I appreciate that, man. I'm just doing my job. Like, it's all right, man. Like, I appreciate you acknowledging that. So it's wild that I had to go through that when I wasn't doing anything wrong. I mean, should I have leaned into the guy? Probably not, but I don't like letting people go on in their life and think that that kind of thing is okay. Like, I probably shouldn't have said it like that, but you need to know that there are people, just because you don't see what's going on. And what's weird is if someone's like
Yeah.
angry or depressed or addicted to something or whatever, even though that's kind of invisible, I mean, they're wearing it all over their face and their attitude, but people don't say anything like, "Oh yeah, you're not depressed." No, no, you're not depressed. No, you're not
Right.
angry. No, you're not an addict. No.
Right.
So why
Right.
do we get that? Why do people
Yeah.
challenge us, and we're not even doing anything rude or weird? We're not being mean about it. We're just not as good at life as we used to be in some
Right.
circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, so
Agreed.
that's a weird, odd thing. Like, so what's I don't know, what's something you think that you have to try? Like, what do you think is the thing that you have to try the absolute hardest to do, but no one even really knows that you're trying that hard? You know,
There's so many.
I mean,
Honest
for me, like, one thing could be, you know, rule number one: do not move anything in a blind person's area. Do
ever.
not ever. I don't care if it's one shoe laying 5 feet away from the other shoe. We know where it's at. We heard the shoe bounce and kick, and we know the general area where it's at. Do not pick up my shoes and put them next to each other and put them at the door, because I'm going to look around for shoe A and shoe B for the next 35 minutes. You know,
Eh,
so
my biggest thing is, and maybe I already said it. I I have OCD. Like, I
mhm.
have to have OCD. And it is literal, like you said, everything in its place, to the point where I have 3 pair of identical shoes, and one has their Adidas, and
Mhm.
I have a pair with a white stripe, a pair with a blue stripe, and a pair with a green stripe. And I cannot tell the difference between the pair with the blue stripe or the green stripe. Obviously, the white stripe, white on white,
Mhm.
that's cool. I can do that.
Uh-huh.
Um, but they're in the closet in a certain order. Like I know they go white, blue, green. And if they get moved, like they're like, oh, you're wearing green shoes with, and that looks really weird. I'm like, no, these are the blue ones. I
It's called
know they're the
style.
blue ones because they were right next to the white ones. And they're like, and my husband's like, oh yeah, I might have moved those. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And it's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, it's just something that and you can't blame people. I mean, now I know it's something, and now I need to tell people when they come into my house, do not touch any of my things, like where they are. And if you move them, my mother is very, very good at this. My sister is as well. And, they'll say like, maybe I'd put my water on the counter, but they're cleaning the countertop off or something like that. And they'll say like, hey, bud, just so you know, your water is on the right side corner of the table. Like they've gotten very good at specific places where they put things and to not move things. Because all the time I'll be because for me, I will end up not trusting my vision myself to where if I know I laid my sunglasses like right here and I will just keep looking right there. I won't
Eh,
look all over the house. I know for a fact they were right here.
right.
And then eventually, someone will say like, what are you looking for? My sunglasses. Oh, I moved them over here. Like, okay, you
Why?
have to tell me when you do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and that is very frustrating, when I've gotten pretty good at it, but when I'm leaving to go somewhere, I'm waiting, because I only take Ubers now and I'm waiting for an Uber or someone's coming to pick me up. Like I try to be ready before I even tell them I'm ready before I even call an Uber and that I have
Right.
everything that I need. Because otherwise I'm looking for my wallet and it's not where I remembered it being. And I keep looking the same place. And now I'm going all over the place looking for a brown wallet on a brown floor and brown dressers.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And but it doesn't get any better when someone moves it. So
No.
I mean, so tell me, do you experience this? So I felt like when this started happening to me, I felt that my recall got so good. My memory almost spiked in a way that because I had to remember when I walk into a room, where is a coffee table, where is a chair, where is a
Yes.
bathroom, where are people
Yeah.
standing, this and that, like what does someone sound like? What does someone smell like? All those things, and my recall jumped up to the point where my friend, like, I'll be doing something, I don't know, but my friend will be looking for something, and I'll go, yeah, it's in the other room on the right side of the coffee table on the floor next to the leg, and they'll
Yes.
go, dude, how did you know that?
Yeah.
Like so specifically because I saw it a while
Yes.
ago. And I
Yes.
know to not like I'll leave things on my floor when it should be cleaned up. It's not because I'm messy. It's because right now I know that's where it's at.
You know it's there.
I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
right there.
I do
Do you,
that with my husband a lot. Like he'll say, like ask me where something in particular is. Ketchup. Oh, do you want the open ketchup? Because it's in the refrigerator on the right hand side, bottom shelf, whatever. But if that stuff's gone and you need a new bottle, then it's in the pantry. It's on the second shelf on the left hand
Mhm.
side. And he's like, how? And
It's
I'm like,
crazy.
I have to because
Uh-huh.
I can't look for it. Like
Right.
he's like, just see it. Well, he doesn't say that, but most people are thinking like, just see it. Like,
Yeah.
use your eyes. And I'm like, no, I
No.
can't. It's not
No.
there.
Yeah.
It is not
It,
there.
it's wild. And so does this happen to you? So, and I've talked to a couple of the people in our community and they've said it does happen to them. That the ones that, if you still have minimal vision, like, for instance, retinitis pigmentosa,
Yeah.
that you scan the room like a lot. You scan faces a lot. Your eyes are moving a lot. So they naturally get strained. And I found, as time goes on that I can get tired very, very quickly. And it's not my energy that's tired. My eyes literally can't stay open, and it almost feels like narcolepsy. And I'll have
Yeah.
to sit down, and I don't even all the way fall asleep. It's not that. Like I'll keep it loud TV on, or whatever to make sure I don't fall into a full trance. But I'll just shut my eyes for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I will shoot up with all the energy I already had. But I just run out of energy. Does that happen to you?
All the time. Yeah. I have to literally stop using my eyes. I have to stop using my vision. And it isn't for me, it isn't for things like if I'm sitting watching TV, I could probably watch TV all day.
Hmm.
But if it's something that I have to search for, if I am trying to read some paperwork, or if I am in a new environment and I have to take in all of the new things, like you said, I mental map everything. I
Yeah.
If my house catches on fire, I may be blind, but I'm the first one out because I know how to get
Rude.
out. They don't know how to get out.
Just
They
leave
don't
the
know how
kids.
many
Forget the
steps.
kids. I'm out.
I'm, I'm out of here. 9 steps. Hit the uh what do you get now? Hit the landing. 9 steps. Hit the landing.
There
Nine
you
more
go.
steps and run. And they're like, "What? Like how many?" And I'm like, "You can see.
Yeah, right, right,
Don't
right.
worry." But yeah, I do. I spend a lot of time taking in information all around me, and it gets to the point where I just can't handle it anymore because
It's
you have to know so much. You have to know
hmm
everything. You have to know
yeah,
everything. It's hard.
yeah. And I'll in with that too, like I'll notice, again, right now it's pigmentosa, like just the center focal view is all we have. And there's some things that I'll notice on people that no one else will see. And it's really odd. But I think it's because I'm so used to having to like that little window. I mean, everyone else has a big window and they have so many details, but whatever I'm
Yeah.
looking at is it's so much more focused that I only have this little area to focus on. And I'll notice the weirdest, like women hate this, right? Because I'll notice their roots are coming in and stuff like that. Because if because I'm scanning the certain areas, right? And they'll notice that, like, I'll notice the little blemishes that they tried to hide that they hope no one else sees. And I'm not doing it intentionally, but it's like, I can see, yeah, your hair needs dyed. But it's like,
You need to get that taken care of.
right. But it's like, it keeps me like, still part of everything, because then they're like, dude, seriously, covering their forehead. How can you see that? Well, like, are you serious
Of
right
all
now?
people. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
So I'm glad like you understand that because I mean, that's one of those things where I'll be talking to people or I have to step away from something or like if I'm on vacation to go inside and I have to sit down and, just sit there and just get away from everyone and close my eyes for a second just to reset myself. And it's weird too. I think it's changed the way that I think and that it's odd. It's almost like my world has become less visual, but the way that I interpret the world has become more visual. I feel like that makes sense. Like it's such a
It
weird
does make
thing.
sense. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to put it into words like that, but it makes complete and total sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, makes
it's
sense.
crazy. So okay. So as we're like getting down to our end here, um, let's go with this. Like what part of like your blindness are you like personally the best at hiding? Or at least you think you are. That no one sees you go through, but you are. Like you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. That's right.
Oh God, that's a hard question. I don't know because most of it would revolve around I'm down to very little. I mean,
Right.
I'm down to very little. So
And that
there's
well, so just so people know, like what is your degree right now?
somewhere between 3 and 4 degrees
So 3 and 4
left.
degrees. So for everyone
Yeah.
listening, like most people, if you're sighted, most people have 180 degrees. So Charity's peripherals have closed in so much on her focal center view that she only has 3 to 4 degrees out of that 180. So
Yeah.
you have to imagine. So if you're looking at someone's face that's 3 feet away from you, Charity, like how much do you see? Like if you're looking at their eye, like what is it for you?
Oh, I can't look at both your eyes.
Well, that's for sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I
out.
have to choose one. I mean,
Right.
I don't see like if I look directly where your eyes are supposed to be, like
Uh-huh.
if I'm looking at your eyes, I won't see your nose. I
Uh-huh.
won't see I mean, I literally only see what would I can't even see 2 eyes. I have to
Yeah.
choose one.
Right. Right.
It's
Yep.
that small. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's only
Okay.
your eye, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being
Yeah.
said, just so everyone understood like where your vision's at. So with that, what is something you think you're the best at doing with that? Because I will put that in the context, whatever you do.
No. I don't know. I don't know.
I would
I'm
say for
not,
me, it's like this might, spark something for you. Um, really, I mean, it is hard to define one thing, but if I could give like an umbrella, is I become very good at finding ways to do things. I mean, now if it's doing something new, obviously that's going to be a pain. But,
yeah,
I was doing some work on my patio with a friend. We were like setting up this fence and I had it mapped out in my head. How can I do it for me? So I'm good at creating this strategy that I'll need to use that'll make sense for me, even if it's a little
yeah,
unorthodox, and
yeah.
we're doing this thing and I'm telling him like, you hand me this, you do this, I'm gonna hold this, whatever. And he's like, "You are really capable," or I forget what he said, like MacGyver or something like that. Like, that's really impressive, man. Like, I don't even know what you're doing right now, and you're making it work somehow.
I,
That's
I I guess like you, I'm good at finding ways around things to do, but it's the everyday mundane things. Like I was
right.
really proud of myself. I have been having issues getting coffee creamer into my coffee mug. And oh, it's terrible. Especially like there's certain ones like if it has a red cap and it pours over the red cap, then I can see it. But this
Right.
one had it was Starbucks caramel macchiato, and it's so it had a caramel colored cap, and I'm like, there's
Mhm.
no way I can do. I had it all over the counter, and so I found these little syrup dispensers that I now put creamer in, like the coffee syrup dispensers, and I'll
Okay.
just pump it in, and I don't have to make a mess anymore. It's
There you go.
wonderful.
Yeah.
But I will tell you one thing, and
Hmm.
I haven't done it in a long time. I will preface it with that, but I bet I could still do it really good today. I used to be a hunter and I could I could shoot a rifle 400 yards and hit a target straight on, and I have my RP to thank for that. Competition shooters use blinders to like
Really?
focus their vision. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh,
Huh.
I got my own built-in blinders and I got this." Yeah, I could shoot 400 yards at a rifle and hit with a rifle and hit a target dead on. I don't do it anymore. I don't think it's safe. I probably quit when I was at about 10 degrees. I don't feel like I'm safe with a gun
Yeah.
anymore, but in the right environment, I could totally do it. I could totally do it.
That's interesting. So I just actually went to a shooting club in North Carolina, and we were at the range, and the guy that we were there because we were using his membership, he brought firearms from all the way from the 19th century through every war, and guy's a huge
Wow.
collector, and oh, it's unbelievable, and military and all those things. But one, some of these are priceless weapons, and it's and I really want to see what's going on, but you obviously want to be very, very safe with it. These are all live ammunition and all that thing.
Right.
And so I'm trying to watch from afar while like he's showing my father exactly how to load this one and exactly what's going on, how to cock it if it's a bolt action, or putting a new magazine in, whatever it may be. And then I get up to it, and like especially the safety, because every firearm safety is in a different place.
It's different.
And
Hmm.
it's so, I was always very sketched out around like, a Marine, a range master, and then, this guy who's been in the military forever. And I'm sitting there like trying to like, it was very nerve wracking. Like, it's not like I'm ever going to point the weapon at anyone, always downrange, but where's the safety? And he'd keep like coming and moving my finger like right here. And like, he knows about my
Right.
vision. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, that was something that was always, it was worrisome. And I actually wasn't too bad at the targets, I don't think. But I don't think that they're always paying attention to me. Like, yeah, here's a blind guy. We're not gonna pay attention to him. Like, he ain't gonna hit anything.
He isn't gonna hit anything.
But I think I did hit a couple, and it's when they would tell me, you're down 2 inches on the left. And then just the micro adjustments and whatnot. But when you're looking
Yeah.
at it, that's all you see. And I remember the
Yes.
Patriot, the movie, right? Aim small, miss small. Like that's
Yep.
it's like done.
Yep. Got it. I
So
got
that's
it.
okay. Very cool. I didn't know that you were like hunting.
I haven't
That's
done it in a while, but yeah, I got some
that's
pretty big bucks. Yeah.
okay. Okay. That's very interesting.
Yep.
Well, wow. Okay. So there's obviously so much we can get into this, but this is probably a good point to wrap it up before we jump into some random conversation about something. So I mean, is there anything else that you have to say?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't,
Okay.
I'm
All
sure I
right.
have a lot to say, but
I know, right?
uh,
But we'll save that for next episode.
for next time,
For
yeah.
next time. So thank you all for coming in and checking out episode 2 of Central Vision Podcast. As always, even though we've only done this twice, make sure you go to our website, www.centralvisionpodcast.com. Follow us on all the social medias, and that's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. It's always the same username, Central Vision Podcast. Give a share, give a subscribe. We're on YouTube as well. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to hear. And also, as we said in the last episode, that we want you to go ahead. If you have any questions, write us at our Gmail or send us a message and at centralvisionpodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. If you have a question, if you're sighted, if your son or daughter, or if you know someone vision loss, you just have a question and you want to know, there is no bad question to ask. We will answer to the best of our ability, or maybe we will have a guest who has the expertise to answer that question better. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you all next time.